Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, the wind has now blown and we have now seen the behind of the chicken. So this beef that is going on between the National Security Advisor Monguno and the Abba Kyari, Buhari's right-hand man, this beef is apparently, allegedly about a lucrative contract, a juicy contract as they call it within the Nigerian space. Guys, I bring you this. NSA Monguno attacks Abba Kyari over police equipment contract. So this now seems to be what is underpinning this public spat that is going on between these two people. NSA Monguno attacks Abba Kyari over police equipment contract. So now this now is the narrative now that is emerging out of that ongoing feud. So let's get into it. A lucrative contract for the procurement of defense equipment for the Nigeria police force appeared to have triggered the raging confrontation at the highest levels of the Buhari administration. Freshly obtained documents showed how the National Security Advisor Abba Monguno tackled President Muhammadu Buhari's Chief of Staff Abba Kyari for allegedly overriding a previous directive of the president in a contract to procure equipment for the police from the United Arab Emirates. So let's just pause there for a moment because it really it befuddles me somewhat that equipment are being procured from the United Arab Emirates. The United Arab Emirates does not produce anything and imports every single thing, including water that they drink there. The only thing that they do produce is oil. So now how defense or police equipment are being procured from the United Arab Emirates is completely beyond me, because I cannot see how that is even a possibility, because they themselves are for first-time buyers. They're first-hand buyers. They go to buy themselves. So are they then going to buy to then resell to Nigeria? And if they are going to buy to resell to Nigeria, why can't Nigeria just go directly to the manufacturers and purchase there themselves? And this is really quite befuddling, because I'm not aware, in fact I know almost for certain that no equipment, never mind hardware, being produced at the United Arab Emirates. But we continue. In the December 9, 2019 letter that was addressed to the Police Affairs Minister and Police Inspector General, Mr. Monguno, a retired Major General, described Mr. Kyari's action as reckless and irresponsible, warning that it was capable of ridiculing Nigeria as an unserious nation before a reliable international partner. Mr. Monguno warned in the letter that Mr. Kyari has been getting away with disregarding presidential orders to impose his own decision, even though he had no constitutional power to issue directives on matters bordering on security. The National Security Advisor said only himself, as the head of the multiple national security panels, and the defense minister have constitutional roles to act on security matters. The documents appeared a part of a series of circulars issued by Mr. Monguno and Mr. Kyari between May and December 2019. The first part of the documents to leak was published on Monday afternoon. It detailed how Mr. Monguno accused Mr. Kyari of hampering efforts to resolve insecurity in the country, sparking nationwide uproar, and called for the president to take charge of his administration's security measures. The first memo also carried the same December 9, 2019 date, but was addressed to all crucial offices of national security coordination. The latest memo appeared to have been sent to inform the Police Affairs Minister and the Inspector General of Police on background of equipment and how Mr. Kyari might be frustrating the procurement process. It was not immediately clear which equipment were being procured by the Buhari administration from the Emirati, but Mr. Monguno disclosed that the International Golden Group, a Dubai-based defense and security dealer, was the firm agreed between Mr. Buhari and the UAE Crown Prince in 2016, the memo showed. Neither the president nor anyone in his cabinet has commented on the crisis at the presidency since Monday. Mr. Kyari and two presidential spokespersons, Femi Adesina and Garba Shehu, rejected requests for comments on the memo on Monday afternoon. They also did not return similar requests based on the latest documents that shed additional light into the rancor. Nigeria has been grappling with multiple security problems, most of which security experts have said should ordinarily be handled by the police. The military has been locked in a decade-long battle with Boko Haram insurgents ravaging the country's northwest flank and neighboring Niger, Cameroon and Chad. Mr. Buhari's repeated promises to curtail insecurity have come short for the most part, despite billions spent on military procurement and capacity building efforts. Mr. Monguno, who has continued to act as the National Security Advisor, even though his appointment has not been renewed for Mr. President's second term, has been at the center of coordinating efforts to combat insecurity. But his labor, he said in the memo, has been regularly frustrated by Mr. Kyari's meddlesomeness, which has pitted the Chief of Staff to not just the NSA but other key administration officials over the years, including Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. So of course we already know the narrative of how this Abba Kyari has completely negated Yemi Osinbajo completely as the Vice President of Nigeria. He has completely blunted his office, he has blunted his tool, and has reduced him essentially to a decoration within the Buhari administration, because you do not hear the voice of the Vice President anymore, but you do hear the voice of Abba Kyari. So the voice of Abba Kyari is in effect the Vice President of Nigeria, and a lot of people will actually tell you that he's the de facto President of Nigeria, because anytime and every time that anything pops up, I have never known it to be the case within the Nigeria space that the Chief of Staff will be so vocal as it is within this administration. You hear his voice above everything else, and anytime there's a complaint coming out of Aso Rock, it is either Abba Kyari that people are complaining about or Mamandaura. So these two people are effectively the duo that are running the country, and Yemi Osinbajo, as I said, has been reduced to a mere decoration. The implication of the raging fallout between the top aides of the president has dominated debates since the first memo was published on Monday. The opposition party, People's Democratic Party, has demanded a thorough investigation into the fallout, lamenting its potential detriment to national security. So apparently, allegedly, but not surprisingly, this is all about contracts, and juicy contracts as well, because it always of course boils down to the dollar within the Nigerian space, and it looks as though this is no different now. So all these things that is national security and it is my job not your job, you shouldn't be crossing over my territory, and all the hoopla and the brouhaha that we heard in previous pronouncement is now boiling down now to police contracts for equipment. And these police contracts for equipment, of course, we have to see the equipment before we believe it, because why they are procuring equipment from the UAE is completely beyond me. I do not know that the UAE manufactures anything, not even toothpick. I'm not aware that the UAE manufactures toothpick, because they import virtually everything into that country. So why now we are procuring police equipment from the UAE is a separate matter, but this particular matter now, it looks as though it's that dollar sign again that underpins it, because everything is underpinned by the dollar sign within the Nigerian space. Conversations in the comment section is all about the dollar, apparently, allegedly, this beef between Abba Kyari and Monguno. But come tell me what your thoughts are. That's what I am more interested in about all this in the comment section. But before you do that, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. The bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Then come tell me if you've ever known a case when a Nigerian functionary is not just about the dollar dollar side when a Nigerian functionary has ever actually acted in the interest of the Nigerian people and not just to fatten his own bank account. Come tell me if you've ever known it to be the case that any person within a Nigerian official position is not just chasing dollars. So I'll leave you here, and I'm interested in that name that you're about to tell me in the comment section. So we'll carry on there. So leave you here, join you in the comment section, but here I say peace.